Most people blow their $5,000 Civic Si budget the exact same way. They buy $300 coilovers, skip the alignment, and shred a fresh set of tires in 10,000 miles. That one decision costs them $600 and turns a fun car into a wobbly, tire-eating mess. Done right, that same $5,000 builds an SI that handles, stops, and looks intentional. Done wrong, it just makes a reliable Honda worse. Let's set expectations before we spend $1. $5,000 is real money, but it is not magic. It will not turn a base FG2 into a Type R fighter. No built motor, no 6-piston big brake kit, no functional aero. What it will do is corrected, lowered suspension, lightweight wheels with sticky tires, better brakes, a little more power and sound, and a fresh maintenance baseline to protect all of it. The Civic Si. I just happens to have one of the best dollar per mod ratios in the game, because the K20Z3, K24Z7, and 1.5T are documented to death. Your money goes further here than almost anywhere else. Here's the rule nobody wants to hear. Spend $200 on maintenance before you spend a single dollar on performance. You're buying a car with 80 to 130,000 miles and average care. That means oil, NGK Iridium, plugs around $50, a coolant flush, and a real brake fluid flush. Then inspect. Check all 4 struts for leaks. Check control arm bushings, because worn bushings make alignment impossible to hold. Check wheel bearings and CV boots. Bolting coilovers onto blown struts and dead bushings is just burning money. If you've got a 10th Gen 1.5T, check for oil dilution too, especially in cold climates. Now the money map. $200 for maintenance, $1,200 for suspension, your biggest handling payoff. $700 for wheels, $600 for tires, $200 for brakes. $200 for intake, $500 for exhaust, $300 for cosmetics, and $350 for alignment and labor. Add a $250 contingency, because shipping and taxes always sneak up on you. That lands at $4,800 with a buffer. But this assumes you're turning your own wrenches. If a shop installs everything, labor eats $800 to $1,500 and something has to die. Usually cosmetics. Pick your priorities now, not halfway through. Suspension is where this build lives or dies. My pick, Tain Street Advance. Z coilovers, $700 to $850. Monotube, 16-way damping, and the most community-recommended coilover under $1,000 for the 8th Gen. Drop them 1.5 inches and they're genuinely daily drivable. On a budget, Megan Racing EZ Street runs $450 to $550 and is fine for the street, not the track. But if ride quality matters more than adjustability, do Eibach Pro Kit springs, about $200 with KYB XLG shocks for another $220. That combo drops you about 1.25 inches, rides great, and frees up cash for wheels, 2 parts people forget and pay for later. If you drop more than 1.5 inches, you need adjustable sway bar end links, 60 to 120 per axle, because stock links bind at low ride height and wreck your handling. And grab Ingles or SPC adjustable camber bolts for $30 to $50, so your alignment shop can actually hit spec. Skip these and you'll feel it, and your tires will show it. Wheels set the whole identity of the car. The benchmark is the NGK RPF1. A 17x8 weighs around 14 pounds, the design ages beautifully, and the fitment data exists for every S I ever made. New, it's $900 to $1,100, over budget. But a clean used set runs $500 to $750 on Facebook Marketplace. Just inspect them in person for cracks and bends, and demand photos of the inner barrel. Don't want used? Koenig Hypergram or Decagram. New, $550 to $700. Heavier than the RPF1, but way lighter than Stockcast. Graham lights. 57DR used is another killer pick in the same tier. Tires are the single most impactful mod on any car, so do not cheap out. Michelin Pilot Sport 4 in a 215 or 245 R17, about 140 per corner, 520 to 640 a set. It tops basically every tire test for grip, wet performance, and wear. Tight on cash, Falcon Asnus FK510 at $380 to $520 is the value champ. And if you see snow, skip summer tires entirely. Get Continental Extreme, contact DWS06 Plus, the community standard performance all season 440 to 560. Now the part that Rex builds. Before you buy a single wheel, confirm fitment. The 8th gen runs stock 17 by 7 plus 55. The street sweet spot is 17 by 8 plus 38 to 45, with a 215 or 225. Go to 17 by 8.5 plus 35 and you're rolling fenders. The front strut tower limits inner clearance, so a wide, low offset wheel can literally hit the strut. The 9th gen and the 10th gen on 18s have different geometry entirely. This is where threepiece.us earns its keep. It aggregates real owner fitment data, wheel size, offset, drop, and whether anything rubbed. That community data beats manufacturer fitment guides for aggressive setups every time. Search your exact wheel and size before you buy, because returning mounted wheels is expensive or impossible. Brakes are one of the best $200 in this whole build. Hawk horsepower pads, 55 to 75 up front, 45 to 65 in the rear. Better bite, better fade resistance, still low dust and quiet enough for daily use. Want more track tolerance? EBC yellow stuff bites harder but dusts more. Then flush in Model RBF 600. Dry boiling point 593 degrees, more than enough for street and light track. And bed the pads properly. 8 to 10 moderate stops from 40, cooling between each. Don't do a panic stop on fresh pads. For breathing, an AEM cold air intake runs 175 to 220 and adds maybe 5 to 8 horsepower on the naturally aspirated K20. Honest truth, you're buying it for the induction growl and throttle feel more than the dyno number. Just respect the hydrolock risk in heavy rain or run an InGen short ram for 150 to 190 with no water worries. On exhaust, the Skunk 2 Megapower Catback at 350 to 450 is the move. Deep tone, not obnoxious, solid build. Tight budget gets a DC Sports Axleback for 2 to 300. Intake and catback together net 8 to 12 wheel horsepower. One big warning for 10th gen owners. On the naturally aspirated 8th and 9th gen, the K20 and K24 tolerate bolt-ons without a tune just fine. But on the 1.5T, an intake without a tune can run the ECU lean under boost and damage the motor over time. So either budget for a Honda Flash Pro, $700 to $800, or hold off on intake mods. Don't half send a turbo car. Cosmetics last $300. A urethane front lip, 80 to 150, flexes on impact instead of cracking. Ceramic window tint, budget $200, worth the premium over dyed film for heat and longevity. And a Skunk 2 short shifter for 80 to 120 is the highest satisfaction cheap mod on the list. The SI's gearbox is already great, and a short shifter makes every drive better. Install order matters, so do it once. Maintenance first. Then suspension with end links, because you need final ride height before confirming wheel clearance. Then alignment immediately. Don't daily it on fresh coilovers. Then mount your wheels and tires and confirm fitment at that height. Brakes anytime before your first hard drive. Intake and exhaust whenever. Cosmetics dead last. And the cheapest mistakes to avoid. No-name $300 coilovers that collapse at speed, lug-centric spacers that cause wheel wobble, used tires that are a safety gamble, and skipping alignment. That $100 you save eats 400 to 600 in tires within 10,000 miles. So who's this build for? The enthusiast who wants a car that looks intentional, handles genuinely athletic, and still drives to work Monday morning. You'll go from about 197 wheel horsepower to roughly 210 or 215, with sharper turn-in, way less body roll, and brakes that actually inspire confidence. None of it hurts reliability when it's done right. Who should skip it? Anyone chasing big numbers because this budget won't build a motor or boost an NA car. The natural next step is a Honda tune around $700. If this helped you spend smart, do me one favor. Before you buy a single wheel, run your exact setup through threepiece.us so you don't waste a dime on stuff that rubs. subscribe, and go build it right.